Hi, friends. It's Scott from Sharing the Burden. Just a quick update on our prison ministry or our jail ministry with the ladies in Milton. I just returned from there and pulled into one of my favorite resting spots, which happens to be a graveyard. And you can just see here as I kind of whip the phone around that it's as beautiful and as peaceful as any of them can be. And I find it's a great place to just come and sort of catch up on what's going on in my day. But anyway, the calling seems so great to me for people to go into the jail, especially this women's jail, where so many people are in for short-term sentences, less than 2 years, and so many of them want to change, and so many of them are really lost when it comes to how to get started on the outside, So I'm finding that as long as I get to know them on the inside, there's a real good chance that I can convince some different organizations, some other charities that there's something that's really important. And what it is that little bit of time between the time someone gets released in the time they're able to continue with a recovery program. So we go in there, we introduce recovery, and we introduce it in a way that's touched by spirituality, and we use the Bible and use the wisdom of the Bible, and not to convince anybody to be a Christian or anything like that, but rather to enforce certain truths that are meaningful to absolutely everybody who sort of understands even the legal system here in Canada. So, but anyway, the point being, we start a recovery program with them, and others even help take it over, and not take it over, but share in it, like Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters, whoever happens to be calling on any particular institution that we call on. And they all help, because everybody with a 12-step has the universal proof that millions and millions have been helped, and why would anybody not want to try the 12 steps as opposed to find a reason not to? So my whole experience in life, especially since I lost my boy to a drug overdose, is to share this 12-step beauty, this gift, with absolutely everybody, and the knowledge that it can change lives and it can help people do things in a way that is not only spiritual, but very practical, in a way that, taking care of business as business happens becomes a way of life for the 12-stepper who's serious about the program. So just so much to do and so much to learn, and the calling is so great. Every lady that I meet in there, and we're probably doing meetings this week alone with 25 to 30 ladies in the jail, and that's a lot, and there's quite a turnover, as I say, short sentences, people getting out and new ones coming in. That some of the ranges, some of the areas are much more allowed, So I have to let this noise happen, and I have to apologize for that. Somebody calling through, and I've declined to answer it just at this moment. But folks, Scott at sharingtheburden.ca. Listen to us on 102.9 FM Tuesday mornings, 102.9 FM Stouffville. Hear the broadcast live. We do an unrehearsed, spontaneous type meeting with various people in kinds of recovery of all sorts, recovering from everything from anger to addiction to different mental illnesses, and the combination of those things. And we're having great success, but I think it's really important that many more take part so we can get to a lot of people a lot sooner. So I guess my appeal is one of come on along and volunteer with us, and know that there's probably no service out there that's going to feel more rewarding, and I mean that. So folks, try us out. Go to sharingtheburden.ca online. Find out what we do, and there's a whole bunch of broadcasts that you can listen to, podcasts there, and we add the new one on every week. And if it means something to you, share it around too, because we've got to get to people. We've got to get to a lot of people, and life is short, and as I say, in the knowledge of how fast it can end for some people and involved in tragic ways of life and so on. But, there's a purpose and a meaning for absolutely every one of you. And you've got a story. And, we got to tell those stories. We got to get out there. We got to appeal to people. And the way we appeal to people to identify is by telling who we are and how we identify, what we've survived, what we've lived through, what we thrive upon, who we are. Because in these programs we learn that. We really learn who we are, and I believe we find purpose. And the two things that men in general never find out in their lives: who am I, and what's my purpose? I believe I've found that. I've found that in the rooms of 12 steps, and I've found that in combination with the scriptures, and those two together for me have satisfied my life in a whole new way. And I've become a far less judgmental person. I can deal absolutely with anybody, no matter what they've done, who they are. I can take them totally separate. I can separate them from their indulgences, their crimes, whatever that happens to be, and to the absolute nth degree. I mean, to the, I can't even talk about it, but it doesn't matter what the problem or the situation. I'm able to separate the person from whatever he or she has done. So, folks, you can have that. You can have the rewards that myself and many people have by being a volunteer who will train a little bit and come into these institutions with us and help us, share in such a way that the people change, people start sharing, and people start healing all over the place. It's beautiful. It's blessed by God. I'm certain of it. So, folks, Scott signing off for Sharing the Burden, and for himself, Scott Duncan, and this is a legacy to my boy, this whole Sharing the Burden. So I hope, folks, that you'll see it that way and take heart, pray a bit, see if the good Lord wants you to be one of our helpers. Have a great day. God bless.